You know, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think anybody needs me to say this, but the world we're living in today, not so normal, is it? Nah, we live in a time now where a dude on any given day can essentially put his hand up and say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to identify as a woman for whatever reason, and as soon as they do that, they expect to be given the same rights and privileges as actual women, which means they think they deserve access to women's spaces, and when denied that access, well, they melt down, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, as you could all see. A women's only gym out in Australia called Fernwood Fitness has caused a lot of controversy because they denied a male identifying as a woman a membership, and now this stunning and brave individual is claiming they're being discriminated against. So, as usual, you know, common sense to a lot of people out there is very hurtful. Now, before we get into this insane story, ladies and gentlemen, if you could, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into it. The New York Post have reported trans female banned from popular women's only gym. A transgender woman has claimed that a popular women's only gym discriminated against him by denying him a membership. No. With the fitness chain now speaking out and seemingly standing by its decision. The gym goer recently shared an alleged correspondence with a Fernwood Fitness staff member on a transgender Reddit forum. I'm sorry, the Fernwood company policy is not inclusive of transgender women, the text read. And on your screen right now is the alleged screenshot. I'm sorry, the Fernwood company policy is not inclusive of transgender women. You can hear the screams across Australia right now. Fernwood offers membership only to biologically born females who identify as female. If you wish to discuss this further, please direct all questions to our head office. Kind regards. I know, for the first time, I'm not actually clapping sarcastically. What a day. And why am I not clapping sarcastically? Because it is so good to see an organization not bowing down to this woke insanity, because time and time again, when something like this happens, a lot of the time, an organization will say, yeah, you know what, maybe we'll go back on our word, maybe we'll allow this trans person to be in a women's space because they're scared of being called mean, hateful, or whatever buzzword. And you know what, it is bizarre to me that people are so scared of being called things like transphobic. Why? It means literally nothing. Oh no, we can't be called that. Our company will go bankrupt if... Just grow a backbone, man. That is the message from me to all these companies who bow down to this. Grow a spine. Take inspiration from this gym. All these companies out there, you know, they're saying, nah, it doesn't matter how you identify, you are not allowed in this women's space. That's how it should be. But the poster stated that they had no idea this was a known problem that they should have been made aware of, and questioned whether it was against the law. I've not been out for that long. This is the first time discrimination has happened so directly, and personally, it caught me off guard, they explained. This is what I mean, man. These people just suddenly decide they're going to identify as a woman because, I don't know, the wind blew a different direction, and then they get upset when they're not instantly allowed into women's spaces. Get out of here, man. I know, it really doesn't make any sense, does it? Then again, this is the world we're living in. But this gym has now also come out and publicly responded. Fernwood responds. A spokesperson for Fernwood Fitness told a news outlet Fernwood Fitness proactively reached out to the person in question to acknowledge him as an individual and to talk about his experience. This outreach was made with genuine care, recognizing the personal nature of his inquiry. Fernwood Fitness appreciates the courage it can take to inquire about a membership as a transgender woman and acknowledge that the experience may have been hurtful or disappointing. Oh no. Fernwood Fitness extends its sincere empathy in response. At the same time, Fernwood Fitness has a responsibility to consider the needs of its broader member community, they continued. A significant number of Fernwood Fitness members come from backgrounds where experiences of domestic violence, sexual assault, cultural beliefs, or religious practices necessitate access to female-only spaces based on sex. For many of these women, such spaces are not a preference but a requirement for their emotional and physical safety and for accessing the health and fitness services they need. Yeah, well, I'll tell you now, and we all know this, these men don't care about that. They don't care about what other women have gone through. It is insignificant because their identity matters more. And it's strange to me, you know, in a time where women's safety is spoken about more than ever, that people would be upset by this, that people would be upset that a gym is saying, hey look, we're going to stop you from coming in here because it may affect how other people feel. The women. Surely, liberal feminists would be okay with that. Yeah, okay, these women have been through a tough time. We don't want them feeling a certain way in a gym. But no, they're never like that. And this sort of meltdown, backlash, doesn't only happen in Australia, it happens in the UK and obviously the US. For example, in the UK, the Girls Spot, a women's only gym, faces backlash after withdrawing trans inclusivity. The owner went on to say the majority of the women who are seeking my women's only gym are coming here because they have faced some level of gym intimidation or sexual violence and assault that has been perpetrated by men. As the owner of the gym, it is very important to be clear how my women's only gym will be operating. It will be operating as a single-sex base for biological women. Her new policy has been criticized by many online. Oh no, people are upset by this. And in the US, trans activists ripped San Francisco Spa for not letting them go nude during Women's Night. What the actual... A group of transgender activists vowed to try and crash a women's night at a San Francisco bathhouse after the spa owners introduced one session a month where only biologically born females can go nude. Archimedes Banya, a clothing optional Russian spa, created a cultural and religious women's night specifically to cater to clients who observe practices requiring a female-only environment based on sex assigned at birth, according to its website. But activists were quick to accuse the spa owners of enacting anti-trans and exclusionary policies, with some vowing to still try and attend the night set aside for those who may adhere to religious or cultural rules. Offer them to us every day, we're not any different individuals, Dakota Rose Austin told CBS News. That response is really discriminatory when you think about it, because if you had a night where you excluded, say, a certain race, yes, because race and gender are exactly the same things, aren't they? That would not fly, and we're just saying trans exclusive nights won't fly. Another activist, only identified as Jordan, added of the spa's designated nights. Yes, and I wish I could fly off this planet, but we don't get everything we want, do we? It doesn't matter to these people what day it is, what occasion it is, they want to be in women's spaces. That story at San Francisco, and those men are so desperate to be in there. You know, I asked the question, right, and we all know the answer to this. Why are these men so obsessed with going into women's spaces? It's not because they get any sort of satisfaction out of it, is it? No. Not at all. But going back to the original story where the female-only gym out in Australia refused to give a membership to a dude, well done to them. Well done for not bowing down and changing their policies and catering to the 1%, because then that would have impacted the 99%. But that is the end of the video. Ladies and gentlemen, leave your thoughts down below about this whole story. What are your thoughts on it? I'd like to know. Once again, if you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video. But until next time, it has been your host JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.